For those of you who are fans of the channel and watch my videos know that I am one of the world's biggest fans of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV. I love this phone. I love how thin it is. I love the form factor. I love the typing, the haptic feedback, the cameras. There's just so much I love about this phone. However, there has been another phone that's entered the equation and disrupted my relationship here and my monogamy with the Xperia 1 Mark IV, and that is the Fold 4. And I recently did my full review. I've used the phone for 2 weeks, and I went to Germany. I was all over the world taking pictures and using this as my primary phone. I took my SIM card out when I got home because I missed my Xperia 1 Mark IV. Like, I missed it a lot. I came home, I'm like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm never going to leave you again for another phone. And that lasted like a day until I needed to make some thumbnails and do some stuff on my Fold 4. I was like, I don't have a SIM card in here. I can't take it on the road with me. I was doing some traveling like around town that day. I put my SIM card back in, and I haven't changed it back yet. And the primary reason is I do a lot of work on my Fold 4. I don't use a tablet anymore. When I'm away from my computer or if I need to make thumbnails and things like that, I make thumbnails with this. I watch videos on it every night regardless of whether there's a SIM card. So yeah, I've put my SIM card back in my Fold 4 and I kind of hate myself a little bit. It's really tough. Like I know this is extreme first world problems. I do miss my Xperia 1 Mark IV, but I'm in another quandary, a conundrum if you would, because I'm using the iPhone 14 Pro, which I have right here, but some of you may or may not know it requires an eSIM. So I can't just swap my SIM cards back freely, and because of the issues I'm having with AT&T, I had to set up the eSIM with my primary phone number, which is normally in my Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV. So right now I'm rolling primary phone iPhone, secondary phone Fold 4, and gosh darn it, it's difficult because so much in me really misses my Xperia 1 Mark IV, but with the utilitarianism of this phone and all the stuff I can do on it, and plus being able to do stuff on the go, I've been making some YouTube short videos, I've been making some Instagram reels and some TikToks, trying to get those spun up. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff, doing some basic editing, doing some thumbnail making, and it's just stuff I wouldn't be able to do normally on my Xperia 1 Mark IV. So because of the work that I have and the work ethic that I have, because I'm continually working basically anywhere I'm at, I'm back on this. And it really is a lot of mixed emotions because I do like it. I like the Fold 4. I've been trying to use the interior screen more for things like typing and things like that because for those of you who know, I don't really like typing on the inside of the Fold. I prefer this. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the best typing phone out of the market right now. And then there's this guy, which, I mean, yeah, it's a great phone. It's great for typing. It's great for doing a lot of things. Maybe I just need to wish for bigger hands because I don't have the largest hands in the world for a dude, as weird as that may sound. But yeah, it's difficult for me to type on large screens. So having the smaller screen on the front is fine. It works out, but it's just still too narrow for me. And yes, there are some other changes that I would like to be made. And I still think the battery life is slightly on the inadequate side. It started off okay, but then as we got into like past the adaptive battery period and I learned while I was on the go using the cameras, I've actually killed this in under 4 hours of screen on time, which really shouldn't be able to happen. Like, it was kind of on par with the Fold 3. So mixed bag of emotions there. Different thoughts on it, but for those of you who are Fold and Fold 3, Fold 4 fans are probably like, yes, he came back. He's using the Fold 4 again. I can't guarantee how long this is going to be, but I thought that it had enough merit to sit down and talk about it because from a work perspective, from a multitasking perspective, from a productivity perspective, the Fold 4 is a lot better than the Xperia 1 Mark IV. Now, if I'm taking photos, I still would want this. I still prefer the camera, the way the camera looks, and the different tools that it has in the camera tool belt, even though it overheats when it's really hot outside when you're shooting video and stuff. But there are kind of some workarounds sometimes. But overall, it's one of those things where I really do have an attachment, and I really do love the Xperia 1 Mark IV, and this swooped in. And it's really hard. It's hard to justify having a $1,799 phone sitting on the desk, the nightstand, not getting used, and that's just something us tech reviewers run into because like even now I got the iPhone 14 Pro, I got so many other phones that are being neglected and not being used, but this one especially, I think the big thing that saves it for me is this, because I did used to use my tablet quite heavily, especially in the evening time, at nighttime, ever since, and I wasn't this way with the Fold or the Fold 2, but once the Fold 3 came out with the S Pen support, I use it and I abuse it and I use it a lot. And there's two different schools of thought here, and I do have some frustration because I feel like we really do need an internal slot for an S Pen, which we'll probably never get. But at the same point in time, this, whoop, almost dropped it, this S Pen is a lot better for me to work with. I feel almost like I'm using a toothpick, like trying to write on a screen with a toothpick with the one on the S22 Ultra. I very much do value this. And I like the color of the case too. Honestly, I like just about everything about this phone. Other than the things they didn't upgrade. Like, I wish it had S Pen support on the front. I wish at some point in time we would get an internal S Pen. Because sometimes I don't want to carry this case. It would be nice if we could get the smaller internal S Pen, but still have the availability to use the bigger one with a case. I think that would be a good compromise, because sometimes I want to carry it like this with a little partition in there, which I guess is inside right now, so I can use it as a stand. I think that would be nice looking forward. I think that also we should get a higher quality camera. The 50 megapixel was nice. It's turned out to work out a lot better than I expected. But for almost $2,000, yeah, I would really like to have the 108 megapixel, right? Or the telescopic telephoto. Those would be nice. Also, I think we need a better front-facing selfie camera. We need the 40 megapixel from the S22 Ultra. There are some things, if they change those things, I would probably use this all the time because it would be the end-all be-all of Android phones. Plus, I love One UI. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm back on using this again. Good, bad, or indifferent. Again, I don't know how long it'll last. And there are things that I don't like about it. Of course, it is nice one-handed, but it's very bulky. Like, it's very, 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 very heavy to use it like this, and it digs into my pinky right here with the charging port. There are some things ergonomically, design language-wise, if you will, that I think could make it better. But it's definitely the best foldable out on the market right now. And not just because of hardware, but also because of the software experience. It's so good at multitasking now. And I hated multitasking on the Fold 3, the Fold 2. It was almost kind of non-existent. This one, with the changes they made with Android 12L, is a much better phone for multitasking and productivity across the board. It really is. And I brought another special treat here. I have my Huawei Mate XS2, which I really love this phone. Now this phone, it's basically the size of the S22 Ultra on the front, but then there's a button here, and let me open the case, and then you open it up, but ow, now we have a full size. I love this. It's so thin, it's so light, and it really is an impressive piece of work. Like, I'm a big fan of this phone. If it had the same, like, basically equivalent of One UI, if it had all the access, if it had the Play Store access, there's so many things that could make it better. But from a design and the hardware perspective, I would rather use that than to use this. And I love having that big screen on the front. I know people have thoughts and feelings about Huawei, which that's fine. I'm not getting into that. But looking at it from, they were such a big power player globally, they probably would have been, top 3 basically phone manufacturers if they weren't already. They are trying to make a comeback. I mean, this phone doesn't have 5G, it only has LTE. But this design, I really like it. And a lot of people say, oh, well, it's fragile and it doesn't have water resistance. Look, I'm not taking any $2,000 phone near anything that remotely resembles water. I've made it my whole life without ever messing up a phone with the water, and I don't intend to start with an expensive foldable. I just don't. Also, if you're worried about it, get insurance or something like that. I'm sure they'll offer that at some point in time. But yeah, back to the Fold 4. The software experience on this, the multitasking, the app availability, the S Pen, second to none. And it basically knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone, tablet and phone, all into one little synergistic package. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, then please go down to the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful, if you want to say I told you so, well, do that, but then hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we always want more people here on Team Tech Odyssey, and I'm putting out videos every single day. It's free entertainment for you guys and gals who like to watch these tech videos and watch me talk about phone stuff. So yeah, that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means a lot. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.